Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mac on the Move. Um, one of the conversations that we're going to have is about why I started a YouTube channel. Well, the thing is that I'm 60 years old, and the main reason that I started the YouTube channel is because I wanted to do something on my own. Wanted to send out information or share information with everybody that might either take a chance to look me up, see what there is. My hobbies are hunting, fishing when I can get out and do it. I go fishing, deep sea fishing every year. Um, Currently, I'm walking around my yard and everything, so if you see everything going on and everything, it's just me cleaning up in my yard. I like to do a lot of DIY, so that's part of one of the hobbies I like to do. A lot of when it's break up and everything, I get out in the yard and I do yard work. Want to keep the area clean and stuff. Just like pride in my work and what I do and everything. I have pride in my property and pride in everything I want to share with y'all. So I spent better part of my life since age 18 enlisted in the United States Air Force. I traveled the world. I've done a lot of things. I've gone from being the worker bee to being the supervisor, being a manager. Um, and once I retired and all, I went into let's say retail for a little while. I've actually been working retail most of my life. All my part-time jobs and everything that I've held. Uh, So I have a lot of retail experience, and that includes, not just the worker, from stocker to supervisor. In the Air Force and stuff, I was a vehicle operator. 2T1 is what they're called now. When I started, it was 603. But during while my time in the Air Force and everything, I did a lot of part-time jobs. I always wanted to stay busy. I always wanted to go. So um, I actually worked at gas stations. I worked in stores. I worked all around everything. And for a better part of 6 years, I also did over the road delivering for Dollar General through the Ryder Corporation. So very well versed in commercial trucking and everything as well. My career field was basically logistics. So everything that I've learned and everything, uh, I you know would like to share with everybody. So if anybody has any questions about working in stores or going from a worker to a supervisor, people that are scared to try and move up or anything, bring it on. I'll answer any question I can and give you the best advice that I can. With that said, once I retired and everything, I also went into hold a degree, bachelor's degree in management and human resources. So I have a lot of experience there. And on the human resource side and everything, uh, I was basically, would in my role in my job that I had, because the job that I had was a small business operations manager. Once I did all that and everything, I would do all the hiring interviews and everything else. So if people got questions about holding interviews or information about speaking with people and everything, I'm there for you. Um, Another aspect of my YouTube channel that I want to do is, we will venture into the realm of politics, because 20 years, over 20 years in the military and everything, uh, I'm very have a lot of pride. Very patriotic, and You could say, well, actually, I will say that since I've always been Make America Great. So I've always been MAGA, you know, and I've always been America first. One of the things that we pride ourselves in the military is doing the jobs that a lot of people in this country don't appreciate. Um, but us as patriots, and people don't realize that we volunteer to go do this stuff. So I will always be MAGA. Now, whether I will always be a Republican, who knows? Okay, it all depends on how the parties go. My allegiance right now is to the Republicans, but when I'm talking politics and everything, I try to take everything into consideration. One of the things I want to do is show the views from the independent side, views from the Democrat side, which right now, in my opinion, the views from the Democrat side are, crazy. Let's just leave it at that. All right. Um, but let's get back on the things and everything. Uh, like I said, my hobbies are hunting, fishing, DIY, and I do a lot of searching on the internet. I will find any information that I can provide and share. Currently, you know, I would say stationed, but yeah, I'm stationed now because it's my home, it's my residence. Uh, I've been in North Pole, Alaska. Actually, I've been in the state of Alaska since 1999. Retired up here in 2004. But um, I get a lot of wildlife that walks through my yard and everything. And I've got a pretty good sized piece of property. Um, and I will be trying to capture as much wildlife and stuff, northern lights and everything. So, and just like I've said in a couple of my other videos, people don't realize how we live up here. We live just like everybody else. We have a house, we have homes. You know, this thing that people live in igloos and tiki huts and all that stuff. Yeah, not real. Now we have some interesting homes that people have tried to make look like igloos. Don't know what that's all about, but I may show you some of the scenery and stuff during in my future videos. So with that and everything, enough about me and all. I got some phone calls to make, and I'm gonna get on the go. So thank you for being here. If you like my channel, if you like what I'm saying, please like, share, hell, subscribe. Uh, Currently, I'm involved with a community called School Common Sense with Kevin 24/7 and Michelle from Squirrel Tribe. Look us up, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.